Welcome to Stirred Up. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Welcome to our podcast where business meets happy hour and we're serving up brand insights with bar rail banter.
We're two Midwest corporate pros who love dissecting popular brands, not just for their marketing genius or business moves,
but for their corporate integrity. Together, Jess and I dig into sustainability, leadership, and how brands are actually impacting the world we live in.
All while keeping it fun, relatable, and let's be honest, fueled by some Fireball too.
Woohoo! So whether we're clinking glasses to the brands who are doing it right,
or closing the book on the one that missed the mark,
we'll bring you the real, unfiltered takes on what the brands are doing that are shaping our world and the lives we live daily.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get this shit stirred up.
You were drinking sparkling water when I got here.
Yeah, I like that.
Some bougie she's on her fucking golf cart out by her chickens with her. What were you drinking?
Perrier or something.
I don't like them.
They're like a nice
I don't
treat.
want that unless you're going to put some tonic and some lime in that shit. Otherwise, I want flat water.
So I have been enjoying...
I'm almost offended when you ask me if I want water that's not flat. Why?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really like sparkling water. It's just like entertaining in my mouth. And I like a Liquid IV. So Ricky taught me this. Liquid IV with sparkling water is so delicious.
Ew. I don't like anything.
And then
I don't
make
like
it really
any additives
cold.
in my water.
I load it with ice and then I use a metal straw.
I'm about the metal straw.
Ooh. I was a little discombobulated myself because
I could tell.
my process, this is my grievance. My process, I have recently switched, like the system I've been using for research and like how I organize my notes for when we are podcasting. And I have an HP printer and I have been enrolled in their like printer program.
You told me about this. Do you know that I would tell you that most people do not know that shit like that exists, including me.
Do you like it? Have you used it?
Lady, I don't even know what my passwords to my credit union are. Do you think I'm enrolled in an HP printer program?
Okay. So I have been enrolled.
When you told me about it, I was like, huh?
Okay, so here's how it works.
Yeah, how does it work?
For $1 a month, you can use a limited amount of pages printed, right? Because it's not about the paper, it's about the ink. But a limited amount. And then we'll just send you new cartridges like every 4 months or whatever the number was. Or whenever you need it. Like we'll just send it to you on demand. And I thought, okay, that's interesting because cartridges are like
expensive.
$60 when you're said and done. Like some people just buy new printers because it's so like, it's crazy. I think that that's interesting. But then I print like 15 pages instead of my 10 allotment. And I really feel handcuffed by the system. And it's not like it's expensive, but it's like how people feel pain at the gas pump because you're seeing that number tick up. Like if you just knew your energy bill, you don't see your energy like, oh, every time you turn on the light, it's going to cost you money. And like you get an email saying you've gone over your light usage. Now you're basically getting a fine. Like that's how the experience works and feels. And I pay attention to user experience with products, right? Like we are maybe more in tune with this. But I'm recognizing like how much negative friction I have on a regular basis about my printer simply because I feel like I'm being charged all the time.
Would you like consumers to say?
No.
You don't want them to do that?
No, I like the transparency and like on a month by month basis.
How much is it to print like just a page without a fucking contract?
Well, so that's then my point. So I'm like, I'm just going to let this run out. My
no,
card,
they won't let you cancel.
My card.
You got some fucking meeting feel Cindy Crawford beauty.
So
you can't get off of that fucking
literally
1-800 shit.
Yesterday or 2 days ago, it was Friday now, I go to print my notes for my podcast system that I've now set up for myself. Go to print my notes so that I'm ready to record this. And my printer just says, you need to go to blah, 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 like ink thing in order to print. And I'm like, you're telling me you were full of motherfucking ink? And just because I'm not paying you $1 a month? Like, you should stop sending me more ink, but you shouldn't prevent me from using the ink that is in my cartridge in my printer right now. So I call customer service and I get Jose on the phone. And Jose says, oh, yes, this is how the system works. You paid $1 per month because you're an OG person, but he didn't say that. He said, like,
you're a premium subscriber.
You're early subscriber. The price has gone up to $1.50, so that will be incurred, like, when you renew. But we need a valid payment because I let my expired card, whatever. And I'm like, the thing is, I don't want to be in the system right now. I want to use the ink that's in my printer. And then when that runs out, I'll go buy my own cartridge. Or maybe I will renew and sign
Or
up.
maybe I'll throw your fucking HP right out the window.
That's what I said. I said, so now.
Right out the window.
I said, so now I need to print right now. And you're telling me I have to go to the store and buy more ink, even though there is ink in my cartridge. But it's just like your specialty subscription cartridge. So you're turning off my ink. I'm going to go to the store and buy a whole new goddamn printer. Yeah. I'm not buying an HP printer. No. And then I also happen to know that their earnings are down and they're struggling. So they said, that's why your company is struggling, because you care more about handcuffing your customers.
You're trying to squeeze $1 out of me.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And he's like, it's just $1. Like, that was the message.
Then you pay it.
So I was pissed. And then I said, look, I understand, Jose, that I'm shooting the messenger here. I would like you to record my feedback and share that on. Right. Because I want your company to know how much of a frustrating experience this is. And guess what he did? He hung up on me.
Oi, Jose, mm-hmm. naughty man.
So I got real fired up about HP. I had always thought that they were like I'd always kind of thought that they were a little bit more of a premium product, or like a better product, a preferred product. And now I have nothing but absolute distaste. I can barely even look at my printer without rage.
I got in a Facebook fight with a guy named Jason Miller.
Are we going to dox him? Are we going to out him?
Oh, I'm going to fucking out this motherfucker. I think. So I apologize. So first of all, you know me. I don't ever want anybody to fail. I really, 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 truly don't, in my heart and soul. Like, mm-hmm. Unless you're a motherfucker. And then I think God deserves to just slap everybody in the back of the head every once in a while, myself included. Uh-huh. So I look up this guy named Jason Miller who likes to go on to Arrest Midland and make fun of people.
Aww.
I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of, like, here's the deal.
The Facebook group is all about, they're just posting mugshots, right?
It's called Midland Mugshots.
Uh-huh.
And it's hilarious if it's not your people. And then when it's your people, it's not so fucking funny. And then once it is your people, then it's not really hilarious for any of the people.
Right.
So for me, it's more like I actually scan it for my people because some of them who used to be on there a lot are no longer with us. So it's just like, I don't know. And this guy clearly uses AI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Clearly. And it's not even good AI. Mm-hmm. This guy is not even fucking clever. Mm-hmm. He's just a dick.
Yeah.
And I got in a real Facebook fight with him, which I'm kind of proud of. And it wasn't really even a fight because I think it's so funny.
You just got fired up.
I was so pissed.
Did he fight back?
Yeah, he gave me a couple AI generators, but then they deleted my message on Midland Mugshots, and I screenshot it. So now I think he might be the admin. Because now all of a sudden my message is back. So either the admin deleted my message, saw it got called out, and Jason and him are, finger banging one another. Uh-huh. And he put it back. Whatever. I know enough about IT and messages and whatever. You deleted it. I screenshot it. My message came back. But when he deleted it, I called him out on my personal Facebook page when I saw my message deleted. Well, then once I did that, it went back on the Midland Mugshots, and then he commented. But he used to own Damon's in Midland, and it went out of business. And I'd like to read the article from the Midland Daily News that I found.
This is fun.
Unfortunately, it's just a significantly sad day, Jason Miller said in a voicemail left on the Midland Daily News reporter's cell phone Wednesday. 25 fucking years ago.
Even the reporter couldn't be bothered to pick up the phone.
Couldn't be bothered. No one gave a shit. For some time, just the expense of operating the business has been outweighed by the revenue we've garnered there. So you're telling me you couldn't operate a successful P&L. Unfortunately, we had to make an abrupt decision to shut it down. So all that to say, fuck you, Jason. I'm glad Damon shut down. You're a shitty person. Another grievance while I'm at it. Mm-hmm. Women are 51% of the population, but 70% of the poor, and 83% of the single parents who do 66% of the work, producing 50% of the food, but just earn 11% of the pay and own 1% of the land. Let's go, ladies. Fuck you, Jason. Let's go, ladies. Also, shout out to Papa Smitty. He made this for my family.
Muff Divers Club. Established in '69, of course. That is incredible. He put this
next to Bennett's girlfriend's keys, and I didn't know why bring this piece of art to her boyfriend's house, but that was Papa Smitty. He made that for the family.
God, that is so funny.
Who drops that off to their kids?
Like that kind of mask and everything.
What is the mask?
Oh, it's a submarine mask. So you gotta go like you're going in deep, you know? Muff divers. That's funny.
So I got us a new sign.
I love that. Very good surprise.
I figured you would. So shout out to the men who aren't Jason.
So I was thinking a little bit, like I was kind of getting grumpy at a couple of categories of men. And this is by no means all men because there's very lovely men.
Look at your man out here digging a sprinkler system.
While also taking care of my children.
Fuck yeah.
Like
Go Maddie.
Hero. Absolute king.
Yeah, we're happy in here. You can go ahead and do that out there.
But like, so I watched a couple of TikToks of like Charlie Kirk, but I don't even really know who he is. And he was in a debate with like a really intelligent woman from like Cambridge or whatever. It was really interesting. But then it got me into this like TikTok rabbit hole of conservative men telling women that like their place is in the kitchen and they need to stay home. And I really feel like this is something that we dismissed for a little bit. And now it's having this like popular resurgence. Men and women alike are in a certain category of like, I don't know, belief system. And some women want that life. And I think that's really fantastic for them.
We are not here to judge. It's hard to do both. It's hard to stay at home and it's hard to go to work and it's hard to stay at home and go to work and it's hard to fucking do anything.
I had to stay home with my daughter for a couple of days and like that was draining. Like that's hard.
It's very hard.
We're just doing our best.
We're trying our best.
Yeah. And that's hard. It doesn't fill my cup. I love my children. Mm-hmm. I love the time that I spend with them, but I want that time to be high quality time where I'm really engaged with them. And I can't do that like all day. I'm so happy for women who can and even men who can, but that's just not me. So I just keep sitting with like, why is there such why do we have to put this on other people? Not everybody's cut out for that. Yeah. And why can't that just be okay? Like, why do these men like Charlie Kirk have to put that on other people? It's really bothering me. Because it's like
Charlie Kirk.
I don't know. He's like a podcaster. He's like a conservative podcaster, like a YouTube voice.
Ew. What the fuck is his problem?
He's like kind of young. He's in his 40s. I want to say like he's not some old like, you know, he's not Donald Trump. I think he has like a very strong following, very engaged, strong following. And he just thinks that like women are unhappy. Modern women are unhappy. And the answer is like, yeah, because of those stats that you just rattled off. Like, yeah, we are working our fucking dicks off and still trying to rise up. And being pushed down by people like him.
Fucking aligned.
So I just don't understand why someone like him has to keep putting his expectations on people that don't even matter to him, like me. You know what I mean? Like, why does he have to do that?
Are the modern women unhappy? Are they unhappy either having to stay home or go to work? Is he saying more women
He's
would
saying
like to
that
stay
working
home?
working women are unhappy.
Because it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot to be a working anything. I see it both ways now.
She just needs to stay home and she would be happy.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
No. God, it doesn't work.
For me.
Right. I
did it.
Yeah, so I was like a little bit frustrated with that. I don't know if this is like an arable grievance, but I have a little bit of a hot take and I thought we'd play it out and see where it landed.
Go for it.
How do you feel about meditation?
I love it.
Oh, you do? Okay. Mm-hmm. How do you practice it? Like
I do focus on my breath.
Okay. How do you build it into your day?
I do yoga.
Okay. Every day?
No.
Okay. So like while you're doing yoga, that's your meditation. Mm-hmm. So like maybe once a week.
Mm-hmm. My goal is eventually to do it every day.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people who are good at it do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was listening to two like California people, and I feel like California.
Can I say one more thing too?
Yes, please.
There is scientific proof around what your breath can do to your overall brain reset, like your entire body.
Yes,
you can fix with your breath.
Yes, I do 100%.
It helped me learn how to, because I have panic disorder.
Yep.
It at least gets me through it quicker, or even now I'm getting so good that I can make it not happen at all. Anyway, big fan of breathing.
Totally,
but that's my form of
acknowledge the
meditation.
benefits. My hot take is that I think it's sort of like an elitist thing. It is something that is free and we can all do, but time is not free.
No, that's true.
And I just don't know how to functionally build it into my day in a way that it's useful. Because if you think anybody who's like working with kids, so this is a little bit of the train of thought of like all of the stats that you shared and expressed, all of that being true, and then the Charlie Kirks of the world saying like women are unhappy and stay home, and also at the same time, like for me, part of the system might be meditation, and I can't build it in my system. I can't even like I do build systems like to get through my day. I cannot figure out, even in a planning, how to do that. But it's not like I don't have free time. It's that I don't think that free time is possible. Like, I just don't know how to possibly use it for that. I don't know how to explain it.
A couple things. So I'm going to go both ends of the spectrum to kind of, we can meet some. I heard 50 Cent say one time, you don't know what it's like to be depressed or to feel anxious. To need he didn't say need the reason to meditate, but basically it was like,
but
if you're poor and you're fucking surviving, you don't have time to be depressed or anxious. So if you're depressed or anxious, fucking you're not in enough pain. Yeah. Basically. With that, I think
50 Cent has a lot of wisdom too, by the way.
Don't get me started. You hear what he said about fucking P. Diddy, which we're going to talk about. Okay. That fucking disgusting.
Okay, I'm ready for that.
Disgusting motherfucker who now is trying to look like he's an 80-year-old black Santa Claus in court so people don't think he's a pervert. Well, you're a fucking pervert.
Add P. Diddy and the Chris Lees to the list.
They got parted. The fucking Chris Lee's got... I'm going to have to take a break for that.
So the meditation thing. I want to hear that.
Tell you. I've always had a brain who's been able to, my superpower has been able to do a fuck ton of things at once. And if I'm really good at it, do it and probably execute it better than most people. Mm-hmm. The other part of my brain has made me feel like I'm lazy and inconsistent and all of these things because it doesn't fire that way.
And that's typical ADHD.
Typical. That's typical.
Okay.
I think then you combine that with life and perimenopause and surgery and, probably fairly traumatic experiences. Mm-hmm. My brain got very shuffled, like where even the superpower in my brain became just the problem. It was a true disability. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get the wires straightened. Period. Even the things that I really fully loved and enjoyed. You remember I told I couldn't open my computer. I couldn't do any of these things that there's nothing more I love than opening up my computer in the morning and fucking making shit happen.
Getting to go.
Right, getting to go. Couldn't do it. My experience with meditation has been, it's like a baby learning to crawl versus walk versus run in the same way we look at business or strategies or problems. Okay. If your first goal is 45 seconds of deep breathing, and that's your goal before your brain decides that it's more important to shampoo your hair in the shower, that's the goal.
Okay, I like that.
So I started out with just 10-minute deep breathing videos in the tub. And I made it like 2 or 3 minutes, maybe for 6 months. So for someone like you, it's a practice.
I knew that, but I go by triggers, and I couldn't find the trigger to how I'm going to put it in my day. And I like the shower. It can be your shower. It can be before you lay down. The last thing on your hearing aids is 45 seconds of deep breathing. I used to do that before kids. I don't know what happened. I'm like, now if I'm really going to practice. I know a lot of humans who can practice at home in their front yard. And when I was very, very dialed in and not working, I could practice at home. Yeah. If I really want to do an hour where my mind is, where I'm in the room maybe for 40 minutes and my mind is shifting, I'm not good enough yet where I can really be in the room for an hour. Okay. I want to make a goal. Yeah. I want to practice in the shower. I really like that because it is, so the other part of it is. Just do deep breathing. Just go back to the breath. Yes, which I do. I like, because I used to practice it, but that's what I'm struggling with is like, I do feel like it is a little bit of a little elitist thing because you have the privilege of having somebody like take care of your kids. No matter rich or poor, can be able to take a deep breath. Right. If you have a cell phone or you can take a deep breath, take a deep fucking breath. But then if we look around and the things that we allow ourselves to be responsible for, I think part of my other reflection that I'm not really sure how to process yet is that I'm like, why am I starting a garden and taking care of chickens, and we're looking at buying
You're not
property
filled
up north,
and
like I'm ready to start another business, and like
you've also been held down by preparing. First of all, how many miscarriages? Okay, how old's Peyton?
Should be 5 and
Okay, did you have miscarriages before you?
2.
Right,
and an ectopic between kids.
that's what I thought. So for the last 7 years, you've either been pregnant, lost babies, trying to get pregnant, nursing babies. Like you're barely a full year at not having this man on your tip.
Yeah.
So now you're in this like, okay, I got to catch up and do all these things.
Yeah.
Or like,
That's a really good point.
okay, they're going to walk around and be busy all day. So either I can chase them or I might as well fucking plant some shit and chase them.
Yeah.
I got to that point too where I'm like, okay, we're just going to be.
Yeah. If I'm going to be here, I'm going to be like doing the things here. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to die here.
So meditation is probably important, but then they're like interrupting. So anyways, I haven't put it into my system, and I think you made a really good suggestion at the shower. So that's going to be my goal. And then I want my long-term goal then to be, I don't know when.
Or garden time's mom's time. That's a boundary. We started to do a little bit of that with one another.
I like that.
Like put your AirPods in, like getting boundaries in your own home is important too. So Mike used to let me, about this age, not let me, but I'm going to take them outside.
But it's like allowing for that boundary to happen. It is.
Looking at each other and saying, okay, this is my partner.
Yeah.
And he needs to go golfing for 5 hours. I don't maybe get 5 hours where I'm not dealing with Heather.
Yeah.
I get 3 hours. Whatever that may look like, this is your sanctuary too.
Yeah.
How can you enjoy it maybe like
Yeah, got you.
a little bit a day without them, where it's mom's walk or
I'm interested in listeners' takes
then they look at you with their big, beautiful eyes, and it's very hard to walk away from them.
Yeah, and it's fun. But again, this the same thing as like I'm not cut out to be a 24/7 mom. Honestly,
my children would be way worse off if I were up their ass as much as I already have enabled them being as like independent as I am, and like they're already little fucking baby.
I think
quitters.
that's all really insightful advice. I'm curious, listeners' takes on meditation, how it's practiced, working or not. I'm really interested to see like how the community is meditating. What are you looking for? Water? Wine?
The cat piss. Where'd it go?
That is right in front of you, and then the bottle's behind you.
My eyes itch from the allergies.
I'm taking Zyrtec. It's expired 2 years ago, but it's still working.
It's just less potent.
Yeah, but it's doing great. And honey, and honey, I eat honey, raw honey.
You've been really on that one.
I feel strongly about
Your
it.
artwork is fab. You need to take a picture of that.
Okay, yeah, I'll post it.
I knew Maddie was going to hate that.
I'm fucking horrified. He's like, what is this? What is this?
It looks really good on your phone. I can't wait.
Midland had an art fair yesterday.
Is it still going on today?
Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. Drive down and check it out. I think it's only one day. It was really nice. There was some pottery I really liked. I took his business card, a guy from Bay City who makes like this really industrial looking lighting. So they're all sort of this Edison style lights. But for example, he had a guitar and the strings were glowing lights and the guitar was just really gorgeous. There was like an old espresso machine, like a really traditional looking percolating espresso machine thing. Oh. And there was lights in there. He made like old things and then inserted lights where you would never ever imagine.
You know I'm about that shit.
It was
I've been hoarding at Jessica's house.
And it was like $800 and I'm also like, and I would have spent that, but I'm also like, this doesn't even fit really the vibe of our house. The day that we have like it didn't even fit the vibe out here. Like a place,
we'll put it out here. We don't give a shit.
An office. It's like really dark and industrial. So cool. I don't even remember his name, but I'll have to get the card and give him a shout out because it's just so cool.
Our studio is cool.
Our studio is so cool.
You got to see we got new horns, guys.
I have a picture we can post.
Are they elk horns?
Yeah.
Moose horns?
Elk. Yeah.
Are they real elk horns?
Yes. Matt's dad gave them to us.
And we spray painted them gold. They're so
and drilled them to the wall.
Drilled their shit. So we're gonna decorate that shit for every holiday. I want you to tell people about what I told you about taking on pain and other people's energy, and then what happened to you.
Oh my god! And then did I stress?
By the end of it, by the time Jessica dies, she's gonna fucking die a Catholic nun.
Actually, I think you need to say how your experience.
Will you believe me?
I totally believe like everything.
How does it sound when I say it to you?
Okay. You can sense, you get like panic attacks when and you don't know what's happening, but you in the moment, out of nowhere, you're like stressed, anxious, panic attack moments, and you had probably 4 very specific scenarios in the last year where something was really tragically wrong or someone did die.
Yeah.
And you can time up the panic attacks with the time that those types of things occurred.
Yeah.
So
and the physical feelings I get are generally what the people
occurred
died of, or like
the stress that Harry was under.
Yeah.
Nearly drowning.
That was horrible. Or my friend who, all the things.
Okay, so you tell me this, and I'm like, wow, that's really incredible. We should talk about that.
We didn't.
We didn't. I don't know. We haven't recorded since you told me, or I don't know. The last recording, we were like on a roll.
It took me about 25 years to figure this out.
Yeah.
It's really mostly not my panic. I think I'm literally taking on other people's
energy.
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to say this out loud, and I'm going to send this clip to our friends at 12th House too.
Shout out to the 12th House.
Because I want to talk to spiritual people about this. Like, it had me fired up. Like, I think that's really interesting, but I don't know what to do with it. And then here I am listening to, and I can't wait to listen to more of the podcast, but I'm listening to a retired retired undercover FBI agent. He did a lot of undercover work with like Hell's Angels, religious cults, like the pagan religious cults. Anyways, he did like anything dangerous. He did all of the big ones undercover, would go in for like a 6-month cover thing and then start to get some trust. He was, I think there's like an organization called the Outlaws.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was undercover with the Outlaws. The details of like how he got in are interesting, but not relevant. They were about to do a really big job. And someone more superior in the organization who hadn't met him, whatever, doesn't know anything about him, was like, got wind of how crazy big this job was going to be. And he's like, who is this guy? Why haven't I heard of him? Go assess, go check him out. And whatever the command was, but like there's lingo for it. So they take him like underground. So now all of his it was a big job. So he had all his like live comms set up to the rest of the FBI, like a tactical team outside. Now they can't hear him because he's underground. Oy. So that's all stressful. And they're, after the fact, they're trying to figure out how they're going to handle that. Like, is he safe? They don't know. Should they go in? And then they ruin everything, like whatever. And people might die, like all the things, it all becomes stressful. And he had bugs, it wasn't like wired tape like we see on TV. Bugs placed like strategically in his clothes, one in his sock, like different things. So he got down to like underwear and socks, and he was able to like get out of it. And then all of a sudden he's going to put on his pants. And the guy who's doing it is like grabbing his pants, but he just barely misses. And he said even on the audio, you can hear him going, when like he's just so nervous. Like the intensity of listening to him tell this story had me like on edge. Like it was crazy. Sounds like anyways, that. Yeah. So like he thought he was going to die. He gets out of there okay. He's really stressed out. And he calls his wife on the burner later. Like they have a system where he just calls her every single day, even if it's just to say I love you. And they have mutual burner phones, whatever. So he calls her later in the day, and the first thing she does when she answers that phone is, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. Why would you say that?" And she said, "I was driving and I got this overwhelming panic." She had her kids, so she had to pull over, and she was like, "I just pulled over. I breathed and I prayed until it went away. And then I didn't know something could have happened to you. And I didn't know what could have gone on." Mm-hmm. And like later when they had time to talk about it, he said that they kind of matched up the timing, and it was exactly the time that he was being interrogated by some of the most dangerous people in the world. And he thought he was going to be found as an undercover agent, and he would have been killed. And she could sense that. Mm-hmm. Isn't that wild?
I get it. One of my friends who lost her son said that she can pretty much like pinpoint like right around, because where she was at and where she was coming from, like the moment she lost him, even as a like 20-some-year-old adult young man, because she could literally feel like the fetus leaving her body.
So crazy.
And then finds out 2 hours later that her son, So I do believe
there's something
there for sure. You can't birth somebody or have this much feelings without, in my opinion, like,
yeah,
depending on how open those receptors are, like taking that on or not.
It makes me think that you have like...
My ribs have been killing me. Like this rib has been killing. I'm not panicked about it. I don't think I should be. But my rib, this side of my body hurt me for like 5 months. I felt great. Everyone died. Then I felt pretty good. Like, I was like, oh, okay. Nobody's in any pain anymore.
Oh my God.
Now this rib hurts like a bitch.
It makes me think, though, that you have some exceptional ability to love more people. Like,
yeah, you should hear about the people I met yesterday. We drove down to Indiana because we found people who have Mastiffs. And the Mastiffs they've imported from Italy and all the things, and we're getting to Mastiffs, but probably not until September, October. So we drive down there, and we stay at a place called the Brown County Inn. So shout out to the Brown County Inn. We went back and forth really quick. So we went late Friday night because we had my brother's sister-in-law's kids, our kids' activities. So we got everybody where they needed to be. We got down there 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, got up yesterday at 8, and we're back yesterday by 6 because we had to get kids and do the things.
Yeah, wild times.
Wild times. So we go to the Brown County Inn, and these people are like, their website literally says about these dogs, like, if you're not a nice person, go someplace else. We only want nice people to have our dogs. So I had called Smokey on the phone about a week after we lost Harrison, told him we'd be down over Memorial Day weekend. Didn't work out, had some work things, had some kid things. So Mike and I decided, let's just go overnight, kind of, literally. Drive it through the night, get there, come home. So they won't just give you a dog. So you have to, like...
apply.
All the things.
Give your...
like, fuck it, we're just going to drive down there.
Fetus.
Yeah. So we go down there and we stay at the Brown County Inn as recommended by Smokey. His wife, Vicky, who's an angel from heaven, she runs the inn. So in the morning before we go to their house, Vicky meets us. And she basically is like, it's like a secret operation that says, all right, we'll send you our address now because Vicky says you can come to the house.
Oh my gosh. You were cleared.
Cleared. So we get to the house and we
Does it feel weird to even go all the way there and you still don't even know they're going to let you come to their house?
Well, I didn't think it was going to be that. I mean, I got all the way down there. But Vicky was wonderful. We brought Brewer, and she was like, you guys are a dream. I'm like, you're an angel, literally an angel. They have the most beautiful dogs. Anyways, we get there, and fucking the first thing Smokey does is let us in this garage, and then shuts the garage door and goes, I'm a recluse. And I'm like, we're going to die in this fucking garage. And then he tells us, like, 3 hours of incredible life stories. Like, and that's what I wanted to tell you. He has done everything from sales and driven a BMW and been on golf courses to now breeds dogs and watch seeds and plants grow to real estate development to Vietnam
like
to
done all the things.
You name it. Like, and now he likes to breed dogs and plant things and fucking he's a cannabis enthusiast.
Hence the Smokey name.
Hence his name is Smokey. And we just had a great day hanging out with some guy we had never met. Me and Mike Smith, and he does jiu-jitsu, and Mike did karate, and like it was just, they were so lovely. So we're gonna get a puppy. We put our deposit down. We haven't decided a boy or a girl. Mike really wants a boy. That's fine. I'd like a girl. I'd like to name her Hannah. Mike would like a boy. He's thinking Georgie.
Aw.
Either way, I had a point. Fabulous fucking people, my heart. They were just, and so Smokey's died. He died for 45 minutes. He's had several heart attacks. He's died for 45 minutes. He was an atheist until 88. He literally has lost a son, his only son. He's got stepchildren that he, obviously considers as one, but lost his only biological son. And he was an atheist till 88 and literally went to heaven and saw Jesus. And now he his purpose is to breed dogs and be a kind human and plant gardens. And they have a Buddha out front, and he fucking is this, wears bib overalls, and he's everything you'd think he was be. Long hair, smoky. And Vicky is this tiny little, is gorgeous as Jane Fonda, but younger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's this big.
It has the same vibe.
Recluse dude. And she's this little outgoing lady, and she's actually turned people away. She had some couple come, and he was mean to his wife and kids, and she texted Smokey and said, if that's the way he's going to treat his family, how do you think he's going to treat my dogs? Aww. They don't get one. Aww. So speaking of a big heart and finding love, I do really think that's the purpose of life.
And there's something to be said about holding to your values, and you can still be successful. You don't have to give up on your values to live a good life.
They also have realized that dogs are their purpose, but not their ability to make money. So they also realize like if they're doing this right, they're not going to be millionaires from it.
Yeah, but it's sustained life.
But it's sustained. But they're also they're retired.
So how does that make you feel about like still the jet?
I still want a jet. He's got people who fly in. Here's what I know about Smokey. I'm the poorest person who's bought a dog from Smokey. I'm pretty sure.
That's so funny.
Because he's got people flying in on jets and getting two, taking them to LA. So
that's cool.
But lovely, lovely, wonderful people. I feel like we found friends for life. I have a really amazing new spot we can go. The city, Brown County, was amazing. They had glass blowers and wine tasting, and it felt very like Grand Rapids meets Art Fair meets Kentucky. Yeah. Because you're in Indiana, which is like deep. It's
strictly my vibe.
I told Mike Smith, I'm like, if Bennett goes to IU.
Yeah, we're out.
We're going there because it has hills and trees and bluffs and lakes
and like probably some craft beer and some good food and all the things.
We got there. We pulled into the hotel at 2:00 in the morning and we were thinking no one was going to let us into. It's an inn, and you know how I feel about it. And Vicky told that to Smokey when she married him 30 years ago. Don't make me do X, Y, and Z, and never make me stay at a shitty motel. I knew we were going to be friends for life. But the inn is gorgeous, and it's the inside-outside rooms, which I'm a big fan of. But we got there at 1:30, 2:00 in the morning just to get, we just pulling it, not even getting settled. And we figured no one was going to be there to let us in. The band was still unpacking. Oh, my God. Bikers were pulling in. This lady was walking the parking lot half drunk. She goes, I paid $276 to stay here. I'm going to get my fucking putt-putt in. I said, do you, girl? Shout out to Smokey and Vicky. Thank you for having me. Thank you for our hospitality. Your hospitality. We cannot wait to get our puppy. Maybe the community should vote on the names.
Do you want to talk about Taco Bell?
Kind of. I do, 100%. Kidding.
Talk to me about how you feel about Taco Bell. Where are we coming from for you?
Didn't have Taco Bell till I was pregnant with Liv when I was 26 ever in my whole life. Nope. Never.
Wow.
Worked out for Dow Corning in the Northwood campus and was pregnant for Liv and started eating Taco Bell then. I am a Taco Bell loyalist. I recently downloaded the app. I love the brand. I think Midland Taco Bell. Liv Moss. I think Midland Taco Bell on Saginaw Road by Joanne Fabrics, that's going out of business, so by Sullivan's and the Goodwill, is perhaps one of the best Taco Bells in the country. Besides the people who called the cops on us 2 years ago because they said we were drunk driving, and we weren't because we had a DD coming home from Chris Stapleton. We were all screaming our order. I love Taco Bell. What about you?
I haven't had Taco Bell in probably 10 years, but I lived it deeply. It's like basically the opposite. I lived it deeply for all of my childhood. My order was 2 soft tacos, and I loved the cinnamon. I don't know if they still have them.
100% they do. They also have Cinnabon Bites now, which is basically a donut with cream cheese hot in the middle. It's so good.
Yes. Very good. So loved that. I didn't get into anything more than just the basic food, but loved it. When I don't know, I learned that mayonnaise is different than Miracle Whip, and discovered Jimmy John's was right next door from my Taco Bell, the South Side. South Side. And I stopped going to Taco Bell and moved on to Jimmy John's. It's literally how I just replaced the habit.
I like Jimmy John's too, but they're barely open.
This is true. But
Taco Bell's open late, baby.
Back in the day,
we don't close.
That's true. Okay, so Taco Bell started in 1962 by some regular old white guy in California.
Stop.
He was doing a burger stand.
Fuck these burgers.
in kind of by Pasadena, LA shit. He added tacos to the menu, and people would call them tacos.
I had somebody order a quesadilla one time. A beef burro and a quesadilla. I'm like, okay. That was 20 years ago.
So their OG taco is a regular crunchy taco. And they make a mess. But he made an amazing...
a street taco?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That's kind of how I would even explain today Taco Bell tacos, their basic tacos. So it's just called a crunchy taco. He made an amazing one, but it was also very messy. So he was very concerned about the mess that not only did people not know what this food was and that they'd not be willing to try it, but that it was messy. And all of that is kind of wrapped up into some of like the earlier brand story. But it was pretty successful. Some of the commentary around the early days was like he was struggling and working really hard. He was really, really working hard and really struggling. But I think it kind of took off. So it was only a couple of years and they had grown to 100 different franchise locations in California.
Sure.
Called Taco Bell, scrapped
100
within... he had 325 restaurants within a decade, less than a decade.
Yeah.
PepsiCo then... shortly after, like in the 1970s, PepsiCo actually ended up buying out Taco Bell as a brand and like the assets of it. Just interesting history. California grew pretty rapidly, worked their fucking dicks off. Like, honestly, I think that wasn't like an easy thing for them to grow with a close attention to how to improve the experience around like how delicious a crunchy taco is, but it's messy. So there was some.
That's why I didn't eat wings for years, because I didn't want to get my fingers dirty. No, I don't give a fuck. But again,
they're looking for ways to grow an adoption in the 1980s. So they introduce a pizza. And it is more of like a Mexican pizza, and the way that it was.
The internet went wild. When
this is just the 80s. This is the 80s.
So they got rid of it. The internet got wild.
The OG version. Internet didn't exist, but they did
get rid of it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
I'll shut the fuck up. Keep going.
It's okay. I'm just saying, like, they had it in the 80s. They got rid of it for a long time.
Right?
And then they reintroduced it. But I want to talk about like menu innovation and like what their current state is right now.
They fucking kill it.
Okay. So one of their, I think, OG menu innovation moments was in the 1980s where they're like, what can we do to increase adoption? The very specific need, we need to bring new foot traffic in. We can't rely on just the people who come to see us today. We need to bring new bodies into the store. So they decided they're going to serve pizza. And like the commentary around it was like, oh yeah, I'll come here to check out this pizza. I like pizza. While they're there, they're getting like kind of a Mexican style pizza, and they might pick up a taco. They might, like, it exposes them to Mexican food, people who might not have already wanted that or might not have tried it. That was wildly successful in the 1980s. And in the 1990s, another growth choice was about really focusing in on the value menu. So Wendy's was actually the first one to brand a value menu for lowering price for like
certain items.
Yes, for certain items. McDonald's now does it like probably more.
They just buy an inventory, like bulk inventory of their food supply, and like they're working that out with their.
I think they make it really basic and smaller. So I think literally all they do is just say, instead of your Gordita Crunch or your Crunchwrap Supreme, which is like not a small piece of food, like it's a substantial amount of food, having a value menu is the most bare bones, most functional, basic piece. Poor Heather. Try the Fireball though. And
I'm not in my meds. I gotta drink more water, and I'm still fun. I think. Am I fun?
Yeah, you're doing just fine.
Okay, good.
So it allows them to boil down the price a little bit more. So in their board and like their company leadership was like, hey, if we can bring in more people and this there might be a little bit price sensitive, what can we do? We will introduce the value menu, which allows us to go from any sort of item to the most simplified version of that item. I also think that allows them to introduce more menu innovation. So if you're saying, okay, my basic taco that we've been known for, which was our bread and butter, we're going to kind of commoditize that, if you will. Like, let's reduce the price from 79 cents to 53 cents, which is, if I'm recalling, and I have it somewhere in here, but the details, the facts don't matter. Like the specifics don't really matter. It was
all part of the fucking show. If you go back, hey, if you've never listened to us before, go back to episode 1. We make shit up as we go. This is not a factual show.
No, we're based on fact, but like we're winging it.
We're winging it.
But it was something to that matter. It was like almost $1, and we're going to reduce the price of this. I do think that allows them to move a new item into the $1.50 or the $3 price point, because then you can introduce. You could say I've lowered prices on something that you love, but I've introduced something new and it is of higher value.
I have a theory. Mm-hmm. It's not a theory. I think it's actually like the business model. Even if I think about high-end restaurants, they have seasonal menus, right? And seasonal menus, generally, you have to think about what food do people want to eat in that season? And then I think a part of that also is, so what does the market want? And then what can the business do to meet the market where it's at? Think about like a raspberry tart. Raspberries are $14 at Meijer's in the winter, but they're $2 in the summer. So even fancy Italian restaurants are going to serve raspberry tart in the summer and probably a creme brulee in the winter because cream
the
cheese
price
is fucking
averages
cream
out.
cheese. Taco Bell, I think, to your point and how they're thinking about the menus, is likely doing the same thing. Whether it's seasonality or whatever, they're saying, we're going to buy these 10 ingredients at this cost, and we're going to make 18 different things out of these 10 ingredients. And then sometimes we're only going to put 2 of these ingredients in something that's going to be in our 99-cent menu. It's the same way we look at supply chain and business.
And none of their
or
ingredients,
market demand and business modeling.
You're completely right. And none of their ingredients are exceptionally of actual high quality. They call it value. It's not necessarily exceptionally
Are they real
high quality.
tomatoes, real lettuce, real meat, real cheese? Or are we eating fucking cat litter?
We'll get to the scandals. But yeah, they are real.
Because I did learn last night, or not yesterday, Smokey was telling me, like, even the different qualities of broccoli. Like, if you're buying certain broccoli at the store, you better be eating vitamins because broccoli is not, like, this is why I think we need to get back down to some of this and at least canning our own shit. Because broccoli is not broccoli is not broccoli. Organic is not organic is not organic. Like,
Okay, I'll double tap into that at another episode. But I'm with you. We will talk about that. Okay, so I do think you're right, though. And if you think about even how you cook Mexican food at your home, is all the exact same fucking ingredients. It's just how you combo them. So then what they can do is charge $3 for something that...
guacamole, $1 more, minimum, for a half a scoop.
But I'm just talking like taco meat, tortilla, tomatoes and lettuce and sour cream. I'm just talking like not even sour cream. Yeah. Basics, right? But when they package them a little bit differently, they can charge a little bit more. And that is their menu innovation. We're not quite there, but I'm about to jump there. I want to acknowledge today, Taco Bell is owned by like a holding company called Yum Brands.
Yum Brands.
They own Pizza Hut, KFC, and a company called
I see a lot of that. A lot of the KFC, Taco Hell. I wrote down Taco Hell. KFC Taco Bell collabs. There's actually one in Saginaw when you get off the highway when you're going down to Bay Road.
Smart. Interesting. You can utilize the infrastructure.
You're getting like Americanized Southern food or chicken and potatoes. American food.
Yeah.
We eat that shit up here too. And American taco food.
But I would imagine, because you're not necessarily buying the same thing at the same time. You're not going to shop at both. But they can utilize the infrastructure.
Back it up. Oh, I know. So here's the deal. I remember thinking, I'm going to call my friend.
But like maybe your kids want to eat.
I remember when her kids were 10 and 12 and my kids were 6, 4, and 2.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have to go to this restaurant for Claire and this restaurant for Lydia.
Oh my God,
and
I would never though. I would never.
Fuck you, I would never. Here's what I'm telling you. When you have a 13, a 15, and a 17-year-old and you're in the same restaurant.
Everybody wins. It's a food court.
Everybody fucking wins. Because at some point, they're becoming their own adults.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So are we going to I'm going to shove Taco Bell down Liz's throat when she really just wants a bowl crunch and it's going to take us 5 more minutes on a 10-hour road trip? My dad would have never. But I also had to pee my pants, and now I piss my pants as an adult because he wouldn't pull over and let us go to the bathroom. You know.
Taco Bell is the champion of Yum Brands. It is the
brand hero. We call them the Super Bowl of the Super Bowl.
They are. They have not as many locations as some of the other franchisees, but they are raking in the cash. They have 8,700 locations, so like almost 9,000 locations.
The Blindside family owned a Taco Bell. Them liars.
The Blindside family? Oh, the movie Blindside.
They owned like 100 or something of them.
Not cheap to do. It's a couple $1 million at the end of the day to open up a Taco Bell. They're making $17 billion a year.
Shout out to Taco Bell.
They're growing at a rate of like, last year it was about 8%. They are struggling a little bit right now.
Jess, muy bueno.
Most of them are franchises.
Yep.
It is at least $1 million said and done to usually close to $3 million, depending on your location. They're like $50,000 franchise fee starting point, but like everything else to start up a restaurant.
Did they break down like assets versus liquid? Cash?
I didn't get into it.
Doesn't matter. Just a question.
Yeah. Only because we'd kind of discussed that in a couple of the other franchise things. So when I just kind of like saw the outline,
You have to have cash and you have to have assets. Or if you don't have cash, you better have a lot of assets and you better be able to liquid them real fucking quick.
And the outline that I saw was like, oh, this is like once you start to see what a franchise recipe looks like, this is the same kind of idea. So there's nothing particularly surprising there. Okay, so Taco Bell's growth strategy and like the reason for growth, the reason for the cult following, the reason for its success is their menu innovation.
You'd say they have a cult following.
Yes. I even Did you look at the Taco Bell hotel? I read about it. I mean, so
it's a real thing. I listened to the CMO talk about the Taco Bell hotel at Brand Week, and I don't remember.
I got less into the tactics. I mean, there's weddings, like you can do weddings at Taco Bell. Like I get it, but I care less about the tactics and more about the why. So I spent more time.
The tactics are so good for me. The why must be good.
Yeah, and I know you know the tactics. Like, I know you know the brand experience components, and I'm just shocked. Like, I can't even imagine how.
Could you not imagine going across the country to stay at the Taco Bell hotel with your husband? It was part of their whole marketing campaign. It got like big like Barbie. They do Doritos collabs. I mean,
I know. It's crazy.
Cinnabons collabs.
Here's what I think.
Baja Blast with Mountain Dew.
But how they get to these is what, like the how and the why. Like that's what's so compelling. It's not so much like what the things are, because to me that all sounds really random. It all sounds like
you ain't part of the cult, man.
No, I'm not. Totally. Okay. So the menu innovation is a part of their success. I would argue that value was from day one with
menu innovation,
with the founder, Glenn Bell, saying, I was stressed when I saw him bite into the taco and it made a mess. And he said he loved it and was able to like figure that out. But I think that was part of how they evolved into some of their like most basic products that made them successful. Now it's a very core part of how they do business and in what makes them work. So they do call it menu innovation. They do have an innovation staff. It's 60 developers and they focus on big questions. How do you make Cheez-It snack cracker big enough to be a Tostita? What are the ideal Cheez-It dimensions to guarantee that the Tostita won't crack inconveniently when biting into? So if you just say to me, like, if we're just focusing on the tactic of the fact that there's like a Cheez-It collab or like a Doritos collab, they don't stop there. That's what I think is interesting. They say, how do we make this a part of the Taco Bell experience?
They're not just taking a fucking Dorito. Right. Yep.
Consider Doritos Locos. What safeguards can be implemented to prevent the orange Dorito dust from staining the consumer's hands or clothing because they're probably going to be driving? And
having to go back to work. This bitch wants to eat some Taco Bell and go back to work.
I read stories about how they even, like the person who developed, I think it was was it the Gordita Crunch or like the Toast Wrap Supreme? So like creating actual brand new products. Like these are not authentic.
The Cheesy Gordita Crunch, actually, to your point, is actually very genius because I never ate a hard shell because I didn't like it to be dirty. So they take a very soft shell that keeps your fingers clean and not real stinky. Now you can drip the sauce right out of it, but the sauce is worth the stain. Ranch with a little bit of like chipotle or whatever that shit is.
Okay, so then when you nail the perfect product, and sometimes this takes
all about
years.
The product. We talk about that fucking a lot.
It is because this is the brand experience. So like
the product is the brand experience.
If you have the cool hotel, but you're not making the Dorito, you can't just walk up with Taco Bell and Doritos and say, hey, let's sell these things together. No, they are actually taking a product innovation, problem solving approach and making it perfect. And that is what makes the success. Then the hotel makes it the cult following. In the same way that we talked about Dunkin', where we were like, they enter into the zeitgeist with humor. I've written, I can't tell you how many press releases for industrial companies in my life. Ugh, and it's tough. It's tough
stuff. They're really hard to make interesting.
When you read a Taco Bell press release.
Oh, they're amazing. Their whole their tactics are amazing. It's a fucking tactic.
But It's not even because the press release is a tactic. It is how they represent their brand through and through and through to everything that
We've been talking about that a lot. Tory Burch is the same way.
When they came back with the Mexican pizza in 2022.
How long was the Mexican pizza gone for? It had to be gone for at least a decade.
Couple decades.
Yeah.
Long time.
Why the hell would you get rid of that?
25 years. They start it with, from performances to petitions, Taco Bell taps into fans' pent-up excitement to celebrate the return of a beloved item. That's the description. Then they say, while rumors of the Mexican pizza's return have been swirling for months, it hasn't been publicly confirmed until now. From petitions to memorials to merch, the Taco Bell cult has rightfully been silent about its menu hiatus. Doja Cat, the voice of Taco Bell people, was one of the first to confirm this news this past weekend when she literally dropped the mic with hot exclamation point. News of the Mexican pizza's return this May. Like, that's the opening paragraph of a corporate press release. People, that does not happen to companies that are not Taco Bell. Even your most, like, Nike press release is not going to be. They're just approachable from corporate down.
Approachable.
Okay. I just think it's compelling. When they did make a menu mistake, so some of their menu innovation has been tapping into breakfast because obviously they're trying to take the share of the day.
I can't. I just have to take taste real Taco Bell.
Okay, so they did have some challenges with that. Hold on, I want to get to the
Give me some eggs with some hot sauce. That's good enough.
Not all menu innovation is successful. So Taco Bell had to apologize for its breakfast menu in the way that they did it. So they had questionable foods, quote unquote questionable foods. Like, this is their words, such as naked egg taco or the waffle taco that has since been discontinued. Turns out, this is again their words, people just want the basic. This is what they said, the CEO. We have honestly over innovated in breakfast, the CEO says. When you look at today's consumer and the fast food breakfast business, it's about familiarity and it's about comfort. So they hired Pete Davidson, and he made a commercial of himself. Like, they produced a commercial of him eating tacos or whatever the fuck he was eating. And he's like, they messed up. So they hired me to talk about how they messed up. And like, that's the commercial. Like, it's
keeping it real.
Totally keeping it real.
At my house will die for the Baja Blast. They love Baja Blast.
So they
took a Mountain Dew and it's basically a Sprite, I think. Blasted it out. I don't even know what's in a Baja
product
Blast.
Innovation. They didn't just partner with Mountain Dew, their Pepsi relationship. They created something brand new. So the chain comes up with well over 1,000 ideas each year. They whittle it down to 40 product launches using its consumer and team member filters. They do have a whole system for how they bring consumers into their R&D process. They will launch
What's R&D, Jessica?
Research and development. They are going to launch 2 times the amount of innovation in 2025 than they did in 2024. And that includes new platforms. That includes LTOs, they said, limited time offerings. So they are going to play on the fact that they are going to introduce a whole hell of a lot of stuff. They might make mistakes. They're going to have fucking fun owning up to their mistakes.
And I think you need to work at Taco Bell, bitch.
I think it is crumble cookie-esque in the...
Their shit actually tastes good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, and then they have this culture of like just being like, hey, we're just playing and it doesn't matter. It's going to be a short time thing anyway. So they're just going to crank out stuff. Okay. Do you want to talk about some scandals?
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about, like, is their meat real?
Yeah. Oh God, don't tell me.
There's a couple of different issues that have come up. In 2013, Taco Bell has become the latest restaurant chain to acknowledge that its beef has been adulterated with horse meat, and this is a UK problem. Their growth plans.
What year?
2013.
Not in the United States, they're not feeding horse?
This is London.
When I went to Iceland, they had horse on the menu.
Right. So this is what I kind of wonder if, like, when they expanded, they did some local stuff and then bled into some other regions that they shouldn't have. So they insisted that their seasoned beef is not made from horse. There was a food official that had to go through and do some testing. But like, it wasn't publicly conclusive, but that's just been some scandals. There's also a hold on. There's also a rumor that Taco Bell seasoned beef is not, or that is made from end of life beef. So it's the lowest quality, grade D. So when you say broccoli, organic broccoli, and regular broccoli, and like other grades of broccoli, look, we got another boat. That there's variations to what you think you're getting.
I don't know what end of life means. Does that mean like an old cow? Because I don't give a fuck if it's an old cow.
Well, but
or if is it the hooves of the cow?
Tell me, no, it's the old cow. But tell me if you've had like a deer that's an old deer, or have you had, like, you're a farming family.
Yeah,
tell me
that's why you don't eat. So I think an old cow. Here's what I know about animal science. Somebody school me. When you shoot a buck.
Yeah.
And it's an old buck, its entire body is full of testosterone, which makes the meat taste like piss. Same thing happens in a cow.
Must be what's going on with your wine.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, drinking fucking horse piss over here. I'm getting acid reflux as we speak. I'm going to have a detox
We're
tomorrow.
We're going to Fireball.
I have to go to Eastman and get a $40 bottle of wine and detox. Good. I bought a case of rosé. I'm going to get that on the way home.
Good.
Anyway. Pigs, okay? So a male pig with balls that is meant to breed, generally you can't slaughter and eat the way you can either a female old pig or a male pig who now doesn't have his balls. So any animal that you see go to market generally through 4-H has been either a female pig that's less than a year old.
Yeah, all of them are less than a year old.
Or a male pig who's been castrated, who's less than a year old. So when we say old beef,
so it makes me wonder,
is it a cow?
Here's the thing.
That's meant for breeding, that now they're killing this
Yes.
old, I don't care if it's a girl cow.
They call it grade D. So I do think it could be any system that
Somebody tell us what grade D beef means. I should know this, but I don't.
Well, I think we can hypothesize. I think you're exactly right. The only reason you'd have an aged animal is because it does need to breed.
Or does grade D mean I'm taking some burger and some hoof and some liver? Like dog food, right?
No, it's the whole rumor was end of life, like aged. Grade D beef was old.
Is it going to poison me? Do I care?
It's not as good quality. It's simply about quality. It has been quote unquote debunked though. So I guess we don't have to get like too into it. I do suspect that where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, debunked.
So Snoops and NPR both say it's made from 88% quality USDA inspected beef. 12% is seasonings and other ingredients. So use that with what you will. 12% is not a small number. We don't have any evidence to suggest that grade D beef or end of life beef is the quality beef that they have, but it's not going to be Angus steak. Like, they are going to use some mid beef. Is it a 1-year-old cow, or like whatever the average age is for like a good beef cow, or is it a cow that had been made to reproduce and then does not reproduce anymore, so then they chop that cow up? Like, I don't know. The seasonings are good. Like, mass it up. Maybe it's the right place for it.
It's a maturity thing, not a quality thing.
Yes, but we know the maturity of the animal does affect quality. That's my point.
Of vitamins and minerals and what you're eating?
Maybe not, but taste for sure. That's why veal.
You put fucking taco seasoning on anything, you fucking.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if it tastes fine.
And if I'm ground, okay, it says grade D beef is generally considered low quality, often used for ground beef or processed products due to its lack of marbling and older maturity. It's not typically a grade you'll find in retail stores like supermarkets.
See.
Carcasses assigned a grade D maturity are considered old, indicated by characteristics like hard white chine bones and dark red coarse ribeye muscle. Grade D beef have minimal or no marbling, no more fat. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Like, we know what we know. Only 2 other scandals, and then we can clink our clothes. And this is a little bit of a response to like, you should work with Taco Bell comment. Okay, so we have a little bit of sexual issues. Sexual issues is not really it.
Harassment?
Yes, kind of. Different. Okay, so two situations. And
I also want to know the drunkest you've ever been at Taco Bell before we close.
the drunkest I've been at Taco Bell? Probably don't remember. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Central Michigan. Okay, so
Shout out to Fire Up Chips.
in 2023, there was both of these scandals are like franchise specific things, and I'll just summarize before I even get into the details. I'll just lead with, I think both of these things are very wrong things that can happen anywhere, and I do think both of these situations, Taco Bell corporate failed to respond appropriately. So
The press releases are great, but their response to the scandals
and
are
it kind of makes me wonder if like you have that fun party culture all the way down to the fucking press release, can you figure out how to respond to when that party culture, like can you...
When the party culture needs to have a party follow, we need to fucking take our little time out in the penalty box.
And these are two very recent situations. I didn't get into like, I don't know, this is like a long history, but like two big recent situations. I think these are problematic and it can be systemic. So at a Christmas party in Los Angeles, a local Taco Bell, there was the franchisee owner or like the manager, somebody, a leadership at that particular location had a Christmas party. It was alcohol-fueled debauchery, is what it said, that included staffers at the fast food restaurant having three-way sex romps in full view of others, as well as intoxicated people vomiting into a bowl of guacamole. Like, that's the sum of the lawsuit.
At one place?
At a single location for a single party, like a single party. They had a holiday party.
That'll happen.
They put wrapping paper on the windows.
I had Christmas parties like that back in the day at a couple bars I worked at.
When somebody who was there...
we didn't puke in the food. We weren't animals. We're not
or
vulgar.
have three ways in the...
I've seen a lot of fucked up shit.
But like at the local Taco Bell, like this fucked up.
I'm telling you, lady. I watched the dildo be a prize one time.
The actual problem is here. So
gross.
One of the people had a complaint, reported it to HR about she didn't feel safe. Like if you don't feel safe at that too, like that's not okay. That's your place of work.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel safe going to your holiday party.
Yeah. That's how I feel when I pee out here and the kayakers are just checking out my cuckoo.
Then I guess we need to
report you to HR.
Well, we can't report them. We're the one pulling out our cuckoo.
This is your fucking yard. You pay for that frontage. You should put $20.
I thought you would love the people.
I actually really love it.
Okay.
But I want a tip jar. You're driving past my home on my water, looking into my fabulousness. I'm getting pleasure out of you. You can put $20 in the jar.
Okay. So the lawsuit was filed because when she filed a complaint with HR, again, so this is the systematic nature of the corporate situation. When she filed a complaint with HR, she was actually fired. So
that's what they do.
So she's like, that's not okay.
Or they lie and say you never said anything to begin with, and then they fire you.
Yeah, so that's not okay.
Terrible.
Then there was retaliation. Somebody came and somebody was known to be like somebody who worked at that Taco Bell smashed out her window of our car. Like there was details of the consequences of her reporting that, and I think that's exceptionally not okay.
Yeah, and that's textbook.
Yep. Locally, similarly, in Detroit, in March of this year, there was an employee. Hi, Ruru, we're recording. Please shut the fuck up.
She can hear you.
I got you. There were multiple incidences at what it looks like multiple Taco Bell restaurants in Michigan violating federal law when they allowed a senior area manager to sexually harass female employees, including multiple teenage employees that he supervised. He fired a local assistant manager, and that was reported as misconduct. The U.S. Equal Opportunity Employment Commission is now actually charging a lawsuit. So it wasn't even a civil lawsuit filed by the people who were harassed. It had been reported to the U.S. government. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission filed a lawsuit against Taco Bell in Detroit on an incident of a single area manager having multiple sexual violations, including minors who worked at the store. For months, the upper level manager sexually harassed female employees, including underage employees. Look at him sitting up by our fucking window.
I'm letting him in.
On a near daily basis at multiple Taco Bell restaurants that he supervised, the harassment included inappropriate sexual comments, such as asking if underage employees were sexually active, asking an employee if she would give him sugar when she turned 18.
Ew!
Unwanted and inappropriate touching of females under the age of 18, and asking an assistant manager for videos or images of her having sex with her boyfriend. That's local, bitch. Like, that's not okay.
That's in our backyard.
And that was
Chicky Poo.
2 months ago.
What'd Taco Bell say?
No public comment that I have on that. They're being sued, so I don't think that they can publicly comment until that lawsuit's over. And they're being sued by, like, the government.
The government?
Yeah, U.S. Equal Opportunity Employment Commission. That's what I have for you today. Can I give you my personal conclusion, or do you want to wrap up with yours first? How do you want to do that?
That's my conclusion.
My personal take here is
I'll eat your old beef.
The narrative that I want
Not
to
literally
wrap ourselves with is like, this didn't start from some like authentic Mexican culture and like infiltrated organically through the United
That's why
States.
it's crazy that I love it
this
so
is white
much. It's
people
so
appropriating, but I'm kind of okay with it, and very successfully. And have taken on a cult
keep
culture.
Pumping them cheesy gordita crunches.
I have huge mad respect for their product team. Like, I love.
Yeah, you're a product owner nerdy
through
manager.
and through. Like, I love the way that they take like problems such as and preferences.
Something's messy or something's whatever.
Yes. That's exactly where I'm at with that, and then they fix it and make money from it. Like, that to me is how business and capitalism should work. I love that they infiltrate culture, even when they're owning up to their problems. They pay millions of dollars into an ad campaign and say like, hey, we fucked up, but come back. Like, that's how you earn cred to
Street
the people.
cred, yeah.
And
I do feel like they service all the people.
Yeah, and there's other stuff that I learned
Everyone
about.
likes fucking Taco Bell.
Other stuff that I learned about, like how they even think about their brand persona and who they're speaking to, and they think thoughtfully about that, and that's like, they know their customer. So I have a whole lot of respect for how they do that, and also I think that you can do that, take it too far, and fuck up when it comes to like, you can't molest and have inappropriate sexual contact with kids. And that is happening at Taco Bell. Okay.
So what my hope is for Taco Bell is, okay, they happened at 2 stores.
There were 6 in Michigan. And then the one in California.
Okay, 7 stores out of how many?
And they're franchisees too.
Doesn't mean it's not right. Doesn't mean if you're not the people involved. So what I'm saying is, if Taco Bell's being silenced, your job is to set up to the table when all this is said and done and say, we are truly not only sorry, but we can't disclose the settlement, but here's what we've done for these.
If they can say sorry about a breakfast menu,
then you better say fucking sorry. So if you can't say sorry now because you're admitting to fault, but you can say sorry later once it's to be continued, Taco Bell. If you're that clever, then fucking stuff up to the plate. You can figure out how to say something and do the right thing. Maybe it has to be when it's all said and done and closed. Maybe they can't yet.
Right.
But we're going to expect it.
We're going to expect it.
But from now on, the drunkest I've been at Taco Bell was yesterday. I'm kidding. I ate at Arby's yesterday.
But like, not far from it, you know?
Yeah.
It was probably
I just got the Taco Bell app. I'm a big fucking fan. I think middle Taco Bell is
prime time.
Prime time.
Best in the nation.
Yep, we're clinking.
Okay. Can we deviate?
I don't give a shit what you want. I'm going.
I know.
I would be a liar if I said I'm going to close. I'm not closing.
That's fine. We need to be trustworthy.
I think that if they don't,
I'm going to say I'm closing.
you better not be fucking with people in the Midland Taco Bell. That's all I'm saying. You better be on the up and up there.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm going to close until I see, like, clean that dirty trash up.
You're closing.
I'm going to close until I see clean that dirty trash up.
I was going to make you a job this week to download the Taco Bell app and take your kids there, separate from me. And I'm going to take my experience and we're going to do a mashup. So you can get your kids to eat it.
Maybe we can see some evidence this year of them.
You're not going to eat Taco Bell at all?
No. I think that they can pull it off. I don't think that this is a forever close.
I ain't closing. Sorry.
That's okay. That's totally fine. I think we should deviate.
So what do you call when we're not clinking or not what closing? What are we doing?
We can
going to the
say-
after party.
We can say
The parking lot party?
Cheers. Good fucking episode.
We say salute.
We say cheers.
Cheers. Don't be drinking all of that. You gotta save me some.
No, you know I only take a sip.
Yeah, you pussy.
Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend. Leave a comment. Add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.